Oh, retirement. The time when you finally get to ditch the rat race and relax into your golden years. Unless, of course, the race has left you a bit light in the pockets. Then it's more like dodging bill collectors and clipping coupons between naps. But cheer up, thrifty retirees. I've got the inside scoop on the top 5 cheapest cities in the US to stretch those retirement bucks. We're talking places where a fixed income means living the high life, not dumpster diving for dinner. Intrigued? Well, grab your support hose and keep reading, because you're about to get the 411 on, where you can retire like a king on a pauper's budget. Just don't go blabbing to all your graying friends or these havens, for the budget conscious will be swarming with penny pinchers in no time. So let's get into the top 5 cheapest cities to retire in the US, and we'll start with the cheapest cities to live in the southern United States. First up is Mobile, Alabama. Could you do a lot worse in retirement than Mobile, Alabama? You have the bay right there, and the Gulf's not too far away, so that's a plus. A handful of decent golf courses. Sure, some of them are country clubs, which, kinda sucks if you're retired on a budget. The weather's decent in Mobile. Summers get humid, but nothing compared to other inland southern cities, trust me. I've been to a lot of them, and Mobile's not that bad. Summers get into the 90s, but rarely get into the triple digits. That's not something you got to worry about. Winters can dip into the 40s, but normally will stay around the mid to low 50s. So basically, buy some windbreakers and sandals. Live there, no Speedos. This isn't Florida, nobody wants to see that. Next on my list is El Paso, Texas. The Sun City makes it onto this list for a number of statistical reasons. If you were going off my opinion, it would be much higher on this list, like number 1 or 2. El Paso is a strange city in a few respects. The thing I noticed when I first visited was how small it is. I thought it would be bigger. We've all heard about El Paso, so right away you assume that it's a big city. It's not. The city itself has about 650,000 residents, which isn't a lot. The metro area has almost 850,000, which again is not a lot for a city that everyone knows about. It's no Dallas or Houston, which, in my opinion, is really good thing. The estimate for the 2020 census is El Paso grew by over 40,000 people, and that should bring them up to almost 700,000. They are growing again. That's kind of a good thing. Now, about El Paso, the city's crime rate is 32% lower than the Texas average. Real estate prices are about 16% lower than the state average. The cost of living is about 6% lower than the state average and 10% lower than the national average. So you could save some money just by moving here. And now let's move on to an affordable Midwestern retirement option, Buffalo, New York. If you're looking to retire without spending your kids' inheritance, consider charming Buffalo. This underrated city on the shores of Lake Erie has history, culture, natural beauty, and a low cost of living. Buffalo winters are no joke, so pack your long johns. But the summer months along the waterfront almost make the 5 months of snow worth it. And come on, snow is romantic. All that cozying up by the fireplace, hot cocoa in hand. For nature lovers, there are gorgeous parks, botanical gardens, and Niagara Falls just 30 minutes away. Housing here is dirt cheap. For what a tiny condo costs in New York City or Boston, you can get a historic home with a yard. And your retirement savings will go further thanks to no state income tax. Culture vultures will appreciate the world-class art museum, theater scene, vibrant food culture, and classic architecture. Sports fans, you've got the Sabres, Bills, Bisons, and Bandits. True, Buffalo's economy has seen better days, and the winters require dedication. But for an affordable, walkable city with small-town charm and big-city amenities, you could do worse than the Queen City. The low cost of living means you can enjoy retirement without penny pinching. And really, what more could you want? An endless summer? This isn't Florida. Bundle up. Next on my list is Greensboro, North Carolina. Greensboro's cheap. There, I said it. After living in bigger cities where a beer costs as much as a month's rent, moving to Greensboro felt like I won the lottery. Want to buy a house? Hope you've got at least $150,000 in your retirement fund, because that'll get you something decent here. Compare that to the million-dollar shacks in other cities, and you'll feel like a real estate tycoon. As for day-to-day living, Greensboro won't break the bank. You can get a meal at a nice restaurant for under $30 and a six-pack of craft beer for under $10. My gas bill is less than my Netflix subscription, and there are enough free activities, from hiking trails to art galleries, to keep you entertained on a budget. North Carolina has a flat income tax of just 5.25% for everyone. Property taxes are also reasonable compared to other states. All told, the total state and local tax burden in Greensboro is about 8% lower than the national average. More money in your pocket is always a good thing in retirement. The cost of living may be low, but the quality of life is high. Greensboro has a vibrant downtown, great colleges, and a strong arts scene for a city its size. The mild weather means you can get outside year-round, and the people are friendly in that classic Southern way. All the charm of the South without the sticker shock. That's Greensboro. So if you're looking to make your nest egg last, put Greensboro at the top of your list. Everything you need for a happy retirement? Hold the high costs. This city is affordable without being cheap. And here we are at the last one on my list for cheapest cities to retire in the U.S., Tulsa, Oklahoma. You know, Tulsa's not a bad place to retire if you're looking to stretch those retirement dollars. The cost of living here is about 15% lower than the national average, so your fixed income will go a lot further. Housing in particular is really affordable. The median home value is under $150,000. I mean, you can still get a decent house here for under $100,000 if you look hard enough. Tulsa's got a surprising amount going for it, for a city its size. We've got great outdoor spaces like the River Parks Trail System along the Arkansas River, and nature preserves where you can hike and bike to your heart's content. The arts and culture scene is pretty solid too, with museums, theaters, and a philharmonic orchestra. And of course, you've got your sports with minor league baseball and hockey teams to cheer on. The weather's not half bad either, if you don't mind a little variety. Summers are hot and humid, with average highs around 92 degrees Fahrenheit, but at least it cools down at night. Spring and fall are gorgeous, and winter is mild. Lows are usually above freezing. You might get a little snow, but it rarely sticks around for long. Overall, the climate is temperate enough that you can still get outside and stay active year-round if you want to. Sure, Tulsa has its quirks and downsides like any city, but for an affordable, livable retirement destination, you could do a whole lot worse. The low cost of living, outdoor recreation, cultural amenities, and decent weather make Tulsa an underrated spot for retirees on a budget. For the money, it's hard to beat. So there you have it, my top 5 cheapest cities for retirees in the good old USA. Now I know some of you are shaking your heads and clutching your pearls at my suggestions, but hey, don't knock it until you've tried it. Give one of these budget-friendly burgs a chance, and you might just find your new happy place. Worst case, you hate it and have to make tracks back to the overpriced rat race you came from. At least you gave it a shot and got some new stories to tell at the early bird buffet. The point is, don't let money or preconceived notions stop you from finding your ideal retirement spot. Do your research, keep an open mind, and you might just discover an affordable hidden gem. Just make sure to pack your comfiest sneakers, hearing aids, and blood pressure meds before hitting the road. Happy trails.